Everybody, Scout Crafter here again. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. You made it through another week. And we have a special program because it's the last program before we do our Tote Box Challenge. And that'll be due on, obviously, Monday. And I will have two videos on Monday. One will be my entry, and the other one will be the photos that were mailed in by you. So look forward to that on Monday. But for today, I have something that should appeal to most of you. It's a very rare and unusual screwdriver, and it's something I was looking forward to. Actually, I was watching a great video last week from my buddy 357 Magdad, who did a Herwood screwdriver restoration, and when he was going through some of the details and the history of the Herwood company, he came across a STANLEY No. 52. Now, like you, I am no different than you. When I see something on that somebody has, I said, man, I want one of those. So, of course, I went on eBay, and there was one on there for an exorbitant price, 30 bucks for a screwdriver. Psh, crazy, right? But I said, you know, I've done this before. You sit and you say, well, maybe one will come up cheaper. I've never seen one of these come up before, so I said, you know, I'm going to jump on it. And thank God it was a buy. Now, I picked it up. I got it today. Let's take a look at it. And here we have a STANLEY number 52 in all its glory. And I think this is the most expensive screwdriver I ever bought, but let's take a look at it, okay? First of all, it is everything you would think it is, especially from the Herwood company. Now, remember, the Herwood company had their trademark was having the shaft connected all the way through, so it's a full shank design connected all the way to here. And let's take a look at this. Now, the first thing, you know, again, this is how people that collect what they call collect tools, they take this, they wipe it down with some more. It feels horrible. I can't tell you how disgusting that feels in the hand as far as like whatever that coating is on there. I'm sure it protects it, but it just, and when you say protect it, you know, there's the typical rust and pitting that comes from, you know, neglect and you know what I mean. And now the tip isn't in bad shape, thank goodness for that. And you know, and the facets are all these facets. It's a square shank screwdriver, but it's a pretty hefty one. And it, you know, you can't really tell from looking at it, but it is 8 inches long in diameter, and the shaft itself is, well, about 3/8 of an inch there. So it's pretty thick. Now, we could barely make out the lettering here, okay? You can see the STANLEY, and now we're going to have to think about this, and when you look at something like this, it did have some grooves in here over time, but they do wear out, and then there was an area that wasn't grooved that was probably the STANLEY marking was on, but that's long gone. So, I'm going to see what I can do with this just to make this into an enjoyable, usable screwdriver, because it feels really good, and you can see how that feels in the hand, right? It just feels really nice, although this bump would be if it was just a little bit more contoured. But, you know, again, this is a collectible, rare screwdriver, so I'm going to try and keep it as original as it was when it came out of the factory. Let's get started. Now, normally my first step is I like to take a razor blade and scrape off some of this gook and everything that's on here. The problem is that we do have some residual of those, these, you know, kind of contours that were cut in, and we want to keep as much of that as we can. So I'm not going to use the razor blade. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use paint stripper. Now, paint stripper works just as good on paint as it does on varnish and all these other things, and it should maintain a nice color. So let's do that. A little steel wool and paint stripper. Now, here we're going to use a brand new can. Just got this. You can tell by the markings, this thing is from like the 70s, of zip strip. This stuff is good stuff. Paint and varnish remover, and we're going to put a little bit in the can and brush it on. This is something I guess I picked up somewhere. Look, if I find a can and it's at a flea market or something, and I can see it's mostly full, this stuff don't go bad. Pick it up. Now, the key to using a stripper like this is a very liquidy stripper. You can see here, it's almost like a water consistency, you can see. But the key to using it, this is more like a stain stripper. And what you want to do is you want to keep it wet like this. You keep use an old acid brush, keep it wet, and you can see the stain or whatever coming off. And then you can use a piece of steel wool, but I happen to have a small piece of Scotch-Brite. Don't use too big of a piece because you can't reuse this once you use it on this. So a small piece is all you need. And then what you want to do, watch what happens when you start wiping this off like this. And again, what you do is you loosened it up. You loosened all that stain up. And then this will start revealing the original color. Okay, you can see here we stripped off that mud or whatever that was on there. It was just horrible, covered with linseed oil. I don't know what was on there, but this is the color. The color that these came with was like a black stain, but you could do equivalent with a dark walnut or something and get, that comes out almost like black anyway. I just don't like that color. The original Herwood screwdrivers always came with that reddish brown color like a Miller's Falls and so many other companies adopted, but I just, you know, the black doesn't do it for me, so I'm going to go with the reddish brown kind of Miller's Falls look for this screwdriver, and let's see what we can do now. Okay, here we are at our post wire brush evaluation. You can see here, no surprises here, and you can see the wire brush always leaves that little bit of that finish. How can we describe it? Almost like a dimpled, an orange peel finish. You know, that's why I don't, you know, not crazy about that finish. Same thing with the steel here. You know, we still have the pits. The wire brush will not get rid of the pits, and especially you know, on the blade and stuff. You see there? That's, you know, I don't like it. A lot of things I don't like about this so far, right? But don't worry, I'm just showing you that, you know, what I don't like. And now you see this cap here. You know how I like and the wood has swelled up over the cap, and you know, and I don't like that. I kind of want to make it my own, you know. I want it to be so that when you put it in your hand, that, like, you know, right now I feel that seam on there. I feel a lot of things I'm not crazy about. But like I said, let me go upstairs, have a little lunch, think about what we want to do for the second half of this. Okay, you know, this screwdriver's been fighting me the whole day. I guess you could tell by my earlier, the way I was talking about it. There was just I hate walking the line on a what's considered a collectible tool. You know what I mean? Ben knows what I'm talking about. And I hate when you got that collectible tool, you got that hanging over your head, because if you mess this up, it's not only are you going to have regular people saying, why you screwed that one up, but you're also going to have the patina boys going, you see? That's the last thing you need, is some patina guy going, you see? Anyway, I want to, while the paint dries, I'm going to go up, have some dinner. I've been working on this for a while. And I just wanted to tell you a quick story about my box, you know, the tote that I'm going to have for you on Monday. I want to talk about sleepers. Do you remember when we were kids, you know, as a hobby, everybody used to gamble when we were younger, you know, you would throw dice, anything to make easy money, right? You would bet, you'd say, look, I'll bet you 50 cents, you know, whatever you do, just to make, I wasn't a bettor because I had too many hobbies that I wanted to put my money into. But, you know, a lot of people used to, when we were younger, we would race cars. And I was part of that whole car culture thing. I loved, you know, fast cars and stuff, but guys would race cars and you know, small bets, like 20 bucks, eighth of a mile, you know, and you say, you know, 20 bucks, and you give the money to some guy, you race, and whoever wins got the money, you know. So it was a lot of fun, but after a while you get a reputation. People would know your car. You'd say, wow, you know, that guy's got a fast car, don't race him. You know, nobody would race you. So then the whole thing of sleepers came out. Do you remember sleepers? I know a lot of guys out there are shaking their head. Yes, sleepers were cars that looked slow. Specifically looked slow. Like they would take an old Vega and they would put like a 350 or, you know, a 396 in a Vega. And that thing was a rocket ship. So, you know, you would go up to somebody and say, hey, you want to race? You know, and they'd say, sure, I'll race you. And little, you know, and you'd wind up winning. So that was a lot of fun, your sleepers. So that was what I was thinking about for for my box, you know. I would say, man, I used to love those sleepers. The guys would have like 4 doors. I had a friend, Timmy Moore, in school. Timmy had this Oldsmobile, and man, you know, it looked like, you know, like your mom's car, you know. And he would go up to guys and say, "Want to race?" They go, "Sure, I'll race you." And Timmy's car was fast. That car was just a rocket ship, you know. So he would always wind up winning and laughing, and we had good times. That was, so remember, sleepers. Now you know my favorite part. Remember what the Stanley number 52 looked like before we started. And we're calling this project done. Let's take a look at what we have here. This was a little bit more involved project. I didn't want to screw this up. Did the handle in the traditional, you know, that color I like. It's kind of a streaked brown, you know, and that's the way the Miller's Falls and all the ones. The top, remember what the top looked like, and you see what it looks like now. Much better, much smoother, much nicer in the hand. All the lettering we were able to keep. Stanley number 52, made in the United States. Let's take a look here at these grinds here. Look at that. Look at these facets on here, right? I mean, you do not, every one of these have to be sharp enough that they maintain the integrity of the original design, but they also have to be, you have to dull them a little bit so they're not super sharp after you go. But look at, we took out all the pits, the tip's nice. I mean, now look at that. Is that not a beautiful screwdriver now? And it feels much, much better in the hand than it did before. I don't know what that was on there before, but there we have it. Our 357 Magdad Special, a Stanley number 52, very rare. I've yet to see one of these before. If you've ever seen one of these, or you know somebody has one, let me know, because this is pretty interesting. I'm so glad that I jumped on it, even though it was a lot of money at $35 for a screwdriver. Okay, in closing, let me tell you what just happened. I'm doing a little cleanup around the shop. You know, whenever you do woodwork, like the Tote, it's woodworking more than any other thing. Yeah, everything gets thrown all over the place, the sawdust, you know, it's a mess, right? But I was cleaning up some of the scraps. I hate to throw scraps away, you know, just because you can always use it. I mean, there are some odd-shaped ones you don't have a problem with. But, you know, when you have like small pieces, and I threw together a little miniature Tote. And I have to tell you something. I had just as much fun building that miniature Tote with a toothpick as the handle. I had just as much fun building that as I did building a big. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. I hope you do get this out of here, finish it up. You got till Sunday. Anything after 6 I can't take, so get it to me early if you're going to send a photo. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks so much. Take care now. Bye-bye.